Item Number SCP-1548 Object Class Keter, formerly Euclid. Special Containment Procedures. SCP-1548 is currently uncontainable due to its status as a stellar body. It is to be observed by astronomical personnel at Research Unit BEEP, currently located at BEEP SOC. 3 small-scale radio telescopes are currently in use to allow for 24-hour message reception. All received messages are to be transcribed and transmitted to the SCP-1548 database at Site BEEP. MTF-Gamma-5 is currently assigned the task of suppressing knowledge of the object's characteristics in the mass media. Description: SCP-1548 is the foundation term for PSR B0531+21, an optical pulsar in the Crab Nebula. Originally discovered in 1942 by various scientific organizations, the anomalous nature of the star was not known until 1968, when Agent Meep, then an astronomer at BEEP, began observations via radio telescope. Radio observations revealed that the star was, in fact, accelerating towards the solar system, and that it was pulsing Morse code. The first fully transcribed SCP-1548 message, translated from Russian and broadcast in 3 bursts, reads as follows: I wake, I see all, and I find it lacking. SCP-1548 normally pulses at a rate of approximately 30 Hz. Although higher transmission rates have been recorded, over the course of the next 10 years, the star was observed to accelerate to approximately 0.85 C. During this period, the pulsar began to transmit increasingly hostile messages, with common phrases being, "You cannot hide," and "only death." Having reached its apparent maximum velocity by unknown means in late 1978, the pulsar's messages changed, becoming significantly more irregular and coherent. It was at this point that SCP-1548 began to demonstrate awareness of those observing it. Messages began to take on a personal tone, insulting those observing the object. Messages simultaneously received on multiple telescopes will threaten personnel or those using all telescopes. Messages sent while telescopes are recording automatically without human involvement are normally generated threats against humanity as a whole, although prompting an establishment of observation posts at these specific sites. The means by which SCP-1548 apparently predicts the future in order to time the reception of its pulse is unknown. Addendum: SCP-1548-A. On BEEP 1980 BEEP, 05 BEEP, on medical leave from Foundation duties, accidentally directed a small optical telescope in the general direction of the Crab Nebula. The telescopes at SOC recorded the following. I just remembered this: the coordinates of all SCP secure facilities, and have the personal information of the 05. Following this transmission, the star's pulse rate increased from 30 Hz to well over 1 kHz, necessitating the use of high-speed cameras to record the message. Over the next 8 hours, SCP-1548 transmitted BEEP, totaling more than a gigabyte of information. This was the biggest continual message to date. Addendum: SCP-1548-B. SCP-1548 is reclassified as Keter by order of 05 BEEP. I don't care if it gets here in 5,700 years. It knows too much. 05 BEEP. Addendum: SCP-1548-C. After the major solar flare on November 4th, 2003, the SOC facility received a brief message stating, "The order of the world will be next." Comparable messages have been received after every significant solar event since that date. Registered Phenomenon Code 548. Object Class Beta Omega Black. Hazard Types: Aggression Hazard, Animated Hazard, Extraterrestrial Hazard, Sapient Hazard, Psychokinetic Hazard, Ideological Hazard, Visual Hazard. Containment Protocols. RPC-548 is currently uncontainable due to its status as a stellar body. It is to be observed by astronomical personnel at Research Unit Beep, currently located at Beep Soc. 3 small-scale radio telescopes are currently in use to allow for 24-hour message reception. All received messages are to be transcribed and transmitted to the RPC-548 database at Site Beep. A suite of basic amnestics and counseling services is to be maintained on-site at all times to mitigate the psychological threat caused by prolonged RPC-548 message observations. Whenever possible, telescopes observing RPC-548 are to be operated by low-clearance personnel to avoid the risk of data contamination or loss of sensitive information. The Authority Counterintelligence Directorate is currently tasked with the suppression of any scientific observation of NP-0532 and the publishing of falsified documentation to maintain the cover that the object is an ordinary pulsar. Description: RPC-548 is the authority term for NP-0532, an optical pulsar formerly located within the Crab Nebula. Originally discovered in 1942 by various scientific organizations, the anomalous nature of the star was not known until 1968, when Agent Seep, then an astronomer at Beep, began observations by radio telescope. Radio observations revealed that the star was in fact accelerating towards the solar system, and that it was pulsing in Morse code. The first fully transcribed RPC-548 message, broadcast in 3 bursts, reads as follows: "Don't think I can't see you. Yeah, that's right. I'm coming for you." RPC-548 normally pulses at a rate of approximately 30 Hz, although higher transmission rates had been recorded. Over the course of the next 10 years, the star was observed to accelerate to approximately 0.85 C. During this period, the pulsar began to transmit increasingly hostile and profane messages using contemporary English language vocabulary, with common phrases being, "I'll get you, you beep suckers," and "I'm gonna step on your goddamn species." Having reached its apparent maximum ferocity by unknown means in late 1978, the pulsar's messages changed, taking on an alarmingly personal tone. It was at this point that RPC-548 began to demonstrate awareness of those observing it. Despite the presence of speed of light lag in transmission, RPC-548 transmissions invariably took the form of personal insults to those operating radio telescopes, or even those who pointed standard optical telescopes in its general direction. Messages simultaneously received on multiple telescopes would individually threaten telescope operations personnel as a group, while those recorded with telescopes were running automatically would take a form of general threat against the human race as a whole. RPC-548 has demonstrated an ability to immediately learn a great deal of information about personnel who will observe it, though this is normally limited to personal details, and more specifically those related to events or actions in the person's past which can be used as insults. The object has also demonstrated advanced understanding of authority procedures, security levels, and even other RPC documents. RPC-548 has demonstrated an affinity for scatological insult, juvenile humor, and a degree of emotional cruelty capable of causing profound stress in those who read its messages. Addendum: RPC-548A. On Beep 1980 Beep, Director Beep, on medical leave from authority duties, accidentally directed a small optical telescope in the general direction of the Crab Nebula. The telescope's at SOC recorded following: "Oh hey, it's Beep. Congratulations on making this far up the food chain. I guess sucking your boss's beeps was a good career move, huh? Pity about the baby, though. If it had lived, it would have left you, just like everyone else. I wouldn't want a whore for a mother either. You're a goddamn beep, and I know you when all this is over, your entire beeping species is gonna beg to die. Following this transmission, the star's pulse rate increased from 30 Hz to well over 1 kHz, necessitating the use of high-speed cameras to record the message. Over the next 8 hours, RPC-548 transmitted beep image files totaling more than a gigabyte of information. This was the longest continual message to date. Addendum RPC-548-B. RPC-548 is reclassified as Omega by order of Director Beep. It is not often that redirectors find it necessary to address our site personnel in such a direct fashion. I will not make excuses. We all did things in our youth that we regret. To find those regrets broadcast by a stellar entity is a disturbing thought to say the least. 548 presents a threat not just on an existential level. Collision with a stellar body would cause irreparable damage to our entire solar system, but also on an emotional level. Scientific objectivity is difficult to maintain in the face of an entity which knows all of your secrets, all of the things you would never want shared with the world. And my God, it's mean! Addendum RPC-548-C. After the major solar flare on November 4th, 2003, the SOC facility received the following. Stellar Controller Chief, baby! I'm gonna cook that little beep boy you call a planet. Say goodbye to your ecosystem, you beeping abortion of a species! Similar messages have been recorded after every significant stellar event to date.